It'll turn green.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Is this right?
I don't think she's getting anything on the screen. Honeybee? Are you getting anything on the TV?
Ready to go? Flip the switch. Ready?
I don't think it's going to work. I'll come in. Oh, good. Thank God.
Okay.
Ready when you are. Our monitor's down, but that's okay.
Okay.
Nice if it were
So
up.
I hit fade.
Good evening. Welcome to Election Coverage 2018 here on WLAF, AM, FM, TV, and .com and our social media platforms. Jim Freeman along with Noah Smith, Susan Sharp will be your host this evening as we work our way toward the final votes tonight. Polls close here in about half an hour. We should have some numbers coming in not long after 8 o'clock if there are not anybody in line at some of our polls that we're covering, which we have reporters at 15 of the 20 precincts tonight. But it's been quite a day today with regard to kind of a slow day that has really picked up late this afternoon. Noah.
Yes, it has. I traveled to 10 precincts today, and early out in the morning, it was kind of slow. I was kind of worried there for a minute. You know, we had a few off and on showers, just spotty, but still. It was kind of slow, but it picked up. Around 4 or 5 o'clock, I was traveling around, coming back to the radio station, and we had a lot of people finally getting off work and going to vote, so it started to pick up in the evening hour, which I was thankful for.
Now, Susan, you're going to skip over and cover a precinct here in just a minute, and you'll, of course, give us an idea of what
Yes.
they voted there and the like.
I'll be going to West La Follette right when the polls close and have some results for you.
We're hoping at maybe 5 after 8.
I would love 5 after 8.
We would too. Not sure when that early vote is going to come in tonight. 5,200, was it 271?
5,286, I think,
86, okay.
was the final tally.
All right. Anyway, impressive number, a record-setting number.
Yes. Yes, it was. Record-setting number. People today were saying, you know, why is no one coming out to the polls? It was so early. Well, we had a record number early voting, so you probably will see a lower turnout than usual on Election Day today, but, you know, we had record number early voting, so that's good as well.
Almost 10,000 votes were cast in 2014, the last really big race, and maybe the biggest in my lifetime that I can remember in 2014. Susan, generally large turnouts will mean?
Well, large turnouts generally mean a lot of interest in a race. We currently have just under 24,000 registered voters in the community. If you can get 10,000 people turning out, you've got interest in a
Pretty
race.
good.
You do.
What about change when we're talking about bigger numbers? Who do the bigger numbers favor, maybe?
Well, I think that really depends on the race. I think that it's a matter of who's able to get out and garner some support, who can get out there, shake the trees, maybe register some new voters. We may see a whole crop of new voters this time.
Well, we did see maybe about 400 new registered voters the last couple of months right before the deadline, July
Yes.
the 3rd. So anyway, we'll hold those thoughts. We're going to be back with more here. It's Election Coverage 18 here on WLAF. Long way to go. Hopefully not that long of a night, but we'll be here till the final vote is tallied right here on WLAF. Stay connected.
Folks stop by Dave's Lawnmower Parts to see Bailey the dog, but it's the prices and the selection of parts that keep you coming back to Dave's Lawnmower Parts. Yep, Dave has blades and belts, air filters and gas filters, the things you need to get your equipment in shape and keep it going through the mowing season. Also gas line for lawnmowers and weed eaters, weed line too.
This is Dave at Dave's Lawnmower Parts.
Right there behind Scotty's at I-75 in Carrollville. You can beat the crowds, but you can't beat the advice at Dave's Lawnmower Parts. Tell Dave that Bailey, the dog, sent you.
Hello, I'm Randy Heatherly here at Gray Insurance. Give us a call for all your insurance needs. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dennis Powers, and I work here at Gray Insurance. We have a great staff ready to help you, whether it's your commercial, home, or auto insurance. We're always ready to help. Want to invite you all to either call, email, or come by anytime.
I'm Gary Gray with Gray Insurance and Nationwide here in La Follette, and we're just proud to be Nationwiders and glad to be on your side.
Nationwide is on your side.
My fellow Americans, I want you to go on down to C&L Furniture on North Tennessee Avenue and see the friendly folks today for great deals on affordable furniture. such as this dinette set. They have knocked $100 off the regular low price, and this hutch, which they have knocked a whopping $170 off the already low price. Living room, bedroom, dining room, guns, ammo, and more. With free local delivery, easy credit terms for everyone. C&L Furniture on North Tennessee Avenue is the place where everyone can afford to shop. Look them up on Facebook or check out their website where you can browse in the comfort of your own home. That's C&L Furniture on North Tennessee Avenue, where everyone can afford to shop.
La Follette Utilities Board continues to be a locally owned public utility that anticipates and meets the community's needs at the lowest achievable rates. The mission of LUB is to provide our customers with reliable, economical, and friendly service in a continuous effort to enhance the quality of life in our community. Caring Neighbors, sponsored by La Follette Utilities, is an emergency assistance fund offering temporary help for paying utility bills. You can be a caring neighbor by donating $1 or $2 each month added to your LUB bill.
Election Coverage 18 over WLAF is brought to you in part by Dave's Lawnmower Parts, C&L Furniture, La Follette Utilities Board, First National Bank, Gray Nationwide Insurance, Terry's Pharmacy, Dr. Jill Browning, Common Ground Coffee Shop, the Campbell County Chamber of Commerce, Powell Clinch Utility District, Robbins Guttering, David Bales Buick GMC, JCR Construction, Owens Shoe Store, State Farm Agent Tabitha Smith, People's Bank of the South, and WLAF.
And welcome back to Election Coverage 2018 over WLAF. Here with Susan Sharp. We're going to dive in just a little bit about our polls that we took throughout this election season and kind of see if they, if they match up with tonight's results and see how many people responded versus how many voters we get today. But Susan, what are your first thoughts?
My first thoughts are this created quite a buzz.
Yeah.
I mean, we had people talking about this on social media, talking about this in the stores everywhere you went. So I think people are definitely interested in these races.
I agree. I totally agree. I've heard a lot of talk about the polls, which is good because that means, one, they're on WLAF, of course, but two is that, people care about this race, people care about this election, and it's kind of interesting to see a shift between 510 voters in the first poll to 588 voters in the first poll. That kind of gives us a good snapshot, countywide, how these races are going to shape up. So it's going to be interesting to see if our polls kind of align with tonight's races, don't you think?
I agree. And the fact that we had such an uptake in the number of people that took part in the second poll tells me the closer we get to the races, the more interest that people have.
I agree. And, we've seen it, with people hitting the campaign trail.
Absolutely.
People going out knocking doors. As this race is starting to, and some of these races are starting to tighten up. And I think our second poll showed that. Some of these races are getting closer and closer together. So it's going to be interesting to see how these races unfold, but especially, if these polls are accurate, if it gives us a good, accurate snapshot of how the county is going to play out and how these races are going to play out. So, but in diving into just the poll itself, we saw some races, we saw some people, make a larger lead. We saw some close, tighten up, like I said. I'll mention one in particular, and it's a state race, but the governor's race, we saw in the first poll, Randy Boyd had 48%, and now Bill Lee has jumped to 45%. So, will Bill Lee stop in Campbell County at the Lincoln Reagan Day dinner and then down at Katie's? Will that have a huge effect on today's turnout and on his votes here in Campbell County? We'll just have to wait and see, but I think it did.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think any time that a voter can personalize an experience with a candidate, that's going to make an impact. When they can say, I shook their hand, I asked them this question. Once that relationship is built, it's definitely going to earn you a vote, if it goes well.
Yes, I agree. And, with Bill Lee coming and, meeting people at Katie's and then coming to our Reagan Day, I think that's going to go a long ways for him. And then you can see in like the mayor's race, sheriff's race, register of deeds, some of these people who have gotten out in the community, knocked doors, see how those people turn out and see how that vote plays out tonight. But it's going to be very interesting to see how these two polls shaping up and see if maybe the first one was right or maybe if votes have completely shifted and something has happened. You know, did a candidate do something? Did they lose ground somewhere? It's going to be interesting to see how these polls kind of react and shape up to how tonight's election returns will be. And we are getting the cue for break, so we'll be back after this short break. You're watching the 2018 election coverage returns and all coverage on WLAF.
At First National Bank, we put you first.
Your family, your future.
Your bank.
With local lending and local decisions, our First National Bank lenders are a part of the Campbell County community. They not only live and work here, they're involved here. FNB's experienced hometown lenders make the decisions right here with a quick turnaround. Remember us when it comes to local lending and local decisions. First National Bank is proudly in its 8th year of its mini-grant program. So far, First National Bank has awarded more than $100,000 to Campbell County teachers. Your family, your future, your bank. First National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Rissa with Terry's Pharmacy, and taking care of you, our patients, is our main focus. We'll take care of you at 310 East Central in the heart of La Follette and in Jacksboro, Belmead. Come inside or use our drive-thrus, or we'll even deliver right to your home. If you're needing a shingles or a pneumonia shot, we can cover all those needs as well. At Terry's Pharmacy, your shingles, pneumonia shots are covered by most insurances, and you definitely need them and to be caught up with them each year. We'll see you in La Follette, Jacksboro, or in our Terry's Pill Car. No matter where you are in Campbell County, you're liable to see us on deliveries. Just honk and wave.
The Terry's Pharmacy now delivers countywide.
If you're looking locally for someone to build a steel building for you, like a warehouse, a factory, or maybe storage buildings, Justin Robbins is a licensed insured contractor who will handle any job, large or small, or in between. Steel buildings and excavating, that's what JCR Construction can handle for you. JCR is very competitive when it comes to pricing. So call Justin Robbins first thing in the morning at 423-494-2050. That's JCR Construction.
Attention Powell Clinch Utility District propane customers, it's that time again. Time for our annual early fill one-time special with the rate of only $1.85 per gallon with a 100-gallon minimum delivery. Remember, most propane equipment works even when the power is out. Don't be left out in the cold. Place your PCUD propane order by August 31st to receive propane for $1.85 per gallon. Certain restrictions apply. PCUD in La Follette and PCUD in Rocky Top, or visit us on the web at pcud.org.
This is Campbell County High School head football coach Justin Price. Our exciting offense is locked in high gear, our hard-hitting defense is hitting even harder, and our rock'em sock'em special teams are keeping things interesting. Come join the crowds and get there early as the Cougars roar over WLAF.
Welcome back to Election Coverage 2018 over WLAF. Here again with Susan Sharp. We're going to dive into some of these numbers. Some of them kind of are surprising, some not so much maybe, but this is the numbers from the second poll. This is election. The polls are still open. You can go until 8 o'clock. This is the poll that we did on WLAF, the second one that we've done in the last couple of weeks.
You know what? I think it's important to mention that you had to be a registered voter to take part in this poll, didn't you?
Yes.
Let's talk about that process a little bit, registering for the poll and then actually voting in it.
Correct, yes. Some people were kind of confused, but
they were.
You know, I got a lot of fake names, a lot of aliases, but you know, those votes were removed. You know, this poll is for registered voters, people who actually take part in the election. And we did confirm those and make sure and verify those, but there were a lot of fake names and aliases, but in order to ensure the accuracy of the poll, those were removed.
So we sifted those out.
We sifted them out,
yes. All right, well what do we have tonight? Let's talk about these numbers.
Well, we'll go county races just quickly.
Okay.
Mayor, we had Jack Lynch at 35%, Aaron Evans at 26%, E.L. Morton at 17%, Brian Yance at 11%, David Young at 8%, and Michael Freeman at 4%. Now this is just a poll.
Our second poll.
Second poll.
Okay, our
yes.
second poll that we conducted as a station.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the second poll. This is in no way how this, I mean, it could be the way the election shapes out, but we do not know. That is up to you, the voters, to decide how this election shapes up. Now, the sheriff's race, we had Robbie Goins at 58% and Jimmy Jeffries at 42% in this poll. And I'll remind you again that there were 588 responses in the poll. Registered deeds, this is a race that a lot of people are keeping their eye out for. You know, who is going to win the registered deeds race? And, you know, our poll had Brittany Faust at 24%. It had June Turner at 15%. Greg Cross at 15%. Ron McClellan at 12%. Let's see here, Pete Huckabee and Johnny Vanover at 9%. Beverly Hall at 8%. We had Thomas Hatmaker at 4%, Gary Berry at 3%, and Patrick Silcox at 1%. Now, like I said, this is just a poll.
Right.
This is a snapshot of what the voters who responded to our poll believe. But you know, we could have 10,000 people vote in this election. It could be one of the highest election turnouts ever for Campbell County. So it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, will this poll shape up, and you know, how will it shape up to the actual election returns?
I agree. If we look at early voting, which I believe we said earlier was right at about what, 5,300?
Yeah, 5,286.
5,286. That's a high number.
It is.
Indicating a high interest. So I think that what we could be looking at is what you said, a historic number turning out for this.
Yes.
And again, you know, let me remind folks, Noah has several times, this is a poll that we conducted. This is by no means anything that is official, but it is the sampling that we took among registered voters. And we did see some numbers change. In the first poll that was taken, and I believe that was in early June, for example, we had, in the county clerk's race, we had Aileen Baird at 36% and Todd Nance at 64%. Coming to the second poll, Ms. Baird had dropped to 28% and Mr. Nance was up to 72%. So we did see a slight shift in some of these numbers between our polling dates.
Yes, and that's accurate in how it's going to, I mean, I don't know if it's accurate. We don't know that.
We don't know.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these polls line up with the returns. But the only way you'll find that out is if you continue watching us and following us on WLAF as we bring you live election 2018 coverage over the only source that gives you up-to-date information and live results as they come into us over WLAF. We're going to step away, but we'll be right back. You're watching WLAF 2018 election returns.
If you're shopping siding, Robbins is ready. If you need to replace those leaky windows, Robbins is ready. Oh, and they also do a little guttering. Robbins Guttering is ready to take care of you when it comes to taking care of your home. No more painting a classy look, it's siding from Robbins Guttering. Chop down those utility bills with the most efficient windows on the market from Robbins Guttering. Siding, windows, guttering, yep, Robbins is ready. Call Eric Robbins at 423-907-2255.
It's been a little more than 50 years since the doors opened to Bales Buick GMC. In fact, Bales Buick GMC has been family owned and